Hi, welcome to For Flow with Chloe, where today I have a harmony and balance yoga class for you, all in honour of the upcoming autumnal equinox, where we are balancing the equal amount of day and night, inner and outer, dark and light energies within ourselves. If you do want to skip any of the intro and just get straight on with the action of the physical class, there are some timestamps down below in the description and chapters, so you can just skip ahead. But if this is the first time you're watching, I think it's kind of nice to get into the vibe and the theme of the class. We also have the new moon in Virgo on the 21st of September, and then on the 22nd we have the equinox at the same time as the sun tips over into Libra. So let this also be an opening into Libra energy class as well, which is all about harmony and balance. I'm going to read you a little bit on the Virgo partial solar eclipse new moon. We have a treat in store at the end of this month, a rare double moon that is a second new moon under the same astrological sign. Our moon will rise out of her darkness once again in Virgo. You can also check out the first Virgo new moon class that I did at the end of August. And this time accompanied by a partial solar eclipse to supercharge our intentions. Virgo is a hard-working sign. We may feel pressure rising from within ourselves at the beginning of this lunar cycle, as Virgo can be a perfectionist. We need to notice where we are setting ourselves impossibly high standards and continue the work we began earlier in the month by soothing our inner critic, dropping the heavy load we place upon ourselves. This will help us restore balance in our lives. There's that word again, balance. Coinciding with the new moon, we find ourselves crossing the second tipping point of the year, the autumnal equinox on the 22nd, is the moment when night and day come into balance. Crossing this seasonal threshold brings steadily more dark than light to our days as we fall into autumn. And also we drop into the second half of the zodiac wheel as the sun moves into Libra. So we've got lots of twisting and turning poses, and lots of poses that embrace balance, harmony. We've got also an Ardha Chandrasana, so some half moon. We've got Chandra Namaskar, some Moon Salutations to bring in that new moon. And we're just embracing lots of twists and turns and trying to balance them on our mat so that we may reflect that out into our lives off of the mat as well. I'm going to take a few cards, and I'm going to take one from the Lunar Tarot as we've got a new moon. And we have the World, fulfillment. So when we have the World, we're looking at a completion of our energy. We've come a full cycle. It's time to realize what we're closing out so that we can embark upon a new phase, finding a completion in our energy. So finding some harmony and balance is going to really help with that completion, closing out of cycles, embracing the new ones. I'm also going to take one from Seasons of the Witch, the Mabon deck, Mabon Oracle, as this is very seasonal. It embraces the equinox energies and that coming into October. And we get the card Tobacco. If you watch my tarot readings that I do also, you'll know this card has come up a few times recently. Feed your ancestors, raise the sacred smoke to them, for they are hungry to connect. So maybe you want to have some sort of fire and smoke ritual for this equinox. It suggests that there is lineage and ancestral patterns and the wisdom that can be imparted of what we take from the past in order to move forward, and what we will therefore pass on. Which bits of wisdom do we want to keep from our ancestry? Which bits do we need to release so that we can move forward and pass on the relevant parts, our future self and any one that may inherit energy from us. One from the Goddess of Love Oracle, because we've also got Venus moving into Virgo, so Venus is on the move. But Venus is the ruler of Libra, and it's also the planet of love. So I'm taking one from the Love Oracle. Shelter, you are cherished. So a lot of self-nurture. They look kind of hibernational here as well. There's lots of snow. The little foxes are all curled up next to each other in their little cave. We also have this beautiful white hare leaping over through the sky, which is a symbol of fertility. And this little cave is quite womb-like. So I feel like this is a message of how to protect and nurture ourselves and our own needs so that we can re-energize, and when the spring comes, we can go leaping into it with the joy of a hare and maybe the rampantness as well. Okay. And so some gorgeous cards. Of completion, of cycles, realising what we want to take forward with us, and nurturing ourselves and those messages into this state of balance and wholeness and equilibrium. And now let's get on the mat and get into the physical part of the class. See you on the mat. As always, we're gonna start with a little shimmy and just shake off all that negative energy going up and down. And then we're going to come down to a seat and face the end of your mat. And just sit with the palms planted just behind the hips, knees pointing up to the sky. And we're just going to allow the hips to open by swaying those knees from side to side like a windscreen wiper. Lovely. And then we're going to take hold of the feet and allow them to meet. So putting the soles of your feet together, and then take your hands and just peel the feet apart like you're reading a book, as if there's many mystical words written on the bottom, the soles of your feet. And just going to bounce the knees up and down and flutter, flutter, flutter those knees, opening those hip flexors. Beautiful. And then lift your feet. You might want to keep your hands behind your hips until you get your balance. Just raise the feet off the mat and squeeze the knees together, keeping the knees bent. You might also want to just hug the knees towards you to start with and see if you can balance on the sit bones here with those elevated feet in your boat pose. Now see if you can take the hands away and lean back a little bit, but making sure your spine is still nice and straight. Take the hands together and we're just going to see if you can twist and tap the ground either side of you with your legs elevated. Keep squeezing those knees together in this sort of Russian twist boat shape. Lovely. And just cross the ankles and come forward onto your hands and knees in your tabletop pose. And we're going to kick a foot up to the sky, pointing the toes, and then bring it into the head, crunching. Inhale, kick up. Exhale, crunch. And flow. Lovely. Now stretch that leg all the way out. And just put the leg on the toes. And just rock back and forth. Back and forth. Now big hip circles. Going in one direction and the other. Lovely. And switch your legs over. So we're going to come into that little cobra tail kick, like a donkey kick, but without a flat foot. We're pointing the toes. I'm just going to bring the knee to the forehead and crunch, and kick it up, creating this nice curved spine. And crunch and kick, and crunch and kick, and crunch and kick, crunch and kick, and lower the foot. Allow those toes to bend back as you just stretch out that leg behind you. Lovely. And we're going to hip circle on this side. Lovely. Move these blocks a little bit out of my way. I'm going to lift an arm up to the sky, opening that heart, and then in your kneeling position, just thread one arm underneath the planted hand. Put your head to the side, maybe want it forward if you've got a bit of a crick in the neck today, and walk the fingers out to the top of the mat in your thread the needle pose. Breathe into that shoulder, pushing down with the palm of the opposite hand that's threaded. And see if you can lift that outstretched arm up behind you and bend the elbow, seeing if you can reach it towards the lower spine. Then if you can go further, wrap it round and make a bind here. Lovely. Unwind that arm and take it back to the top of the mat outstretched. Outstretch the leg on the same side as the outstretched arm. Push into the ground with that planted palm and see if you can raise the leg up off the ground here. Really engage those glutes to allow you to balance here as you lift and tap, and then slide everything back towards you. And I'm going to take that on the other side. Inhale the arm up to the sky, opening that heart, and thread the hand under. Bring that head down to the ground, tiptoe the fingers to the end of the mat, and breathe into that armpit, pushing down through the palm of the threaded hand. And see if you can lift that arm up, reach behind, and see if you can work the fingers into that opposite hip crease and find your bound arm here. Lovely. And send that arm back to the top of the mat and out, stretch that leg behind you. You can just come to here, or you can have a go on this side as well. Tapping that leg up and down. Really engaging that core and those glutes. Pushing down through that palm and the fingertips to stabilise here. And lower everything down and unwind. Lovely. And now from our kneeling position, we're just going to lift one leg up off the mat and just hold it there, seeing if you can balance. Now raise the opposite arm up off of the mat. Really flex the foot here, so you're kicking back powerfully and reaching forward with the fingertips, making a long line from fingers to foot. Now grab the air and fist pump and bring it in and crunch. I'm going to do a few of those. Inhale, out, stretch. Exhale, crunch. And flow. Lovely, and switch it over. Extend that leg out with the flat foot. Raise the other arm up, find your balance, and crunch. Lovely. Now step your foot forward. I'm stepping forward with my left foot. Stacking the knee over the ankle, coming into your lunge shape and pull it back, extend the leg, point the toes to the sky. Inhale and lunge, exhale, half Hanuman. While you're in your half Hanuman as well with that extended leg, give your ankle a bit of a roll in both directions to just wake up that ankle joint. Lovely, and come up and bring the hands to your heart center. And see if you can twist and tap your elbow onto your knee or grapple it on there. Then you can either stay here, or if you're feeling a little bit more spicy, then you can come up on those back toes and elevate the leg here. Bring the opposite hand to the mat and extend that arm up to the sky. And windmill that arm back down. Really grip with the fingers into the mat, pushing the ground away, and step that leg back behind you, finding your Palakasana plank pose. Really engage that core, those glutes. Lovely, now step the right foot forward, coming into that lunge shape on the other side. I'm going to go through those lunge to half Hanumans. Lovely, and give that ankle a bit of a roll out, as we did on the other side. Lovely. And bring the hands up, hands to heart center. And see if you can twist and tap that knee or latch that elbow onto the knee here. Now see if you can come up on those back toes, elevating that knee up off the mat. Lovely, bring the palm down to the floor as you remain twisted, lifting the opposite arm to the sky. Lovely, windmill the arm down. Step back into your Palakasana again. This time we're going to shift it over into our side plank. Raise the arm to the sky, stack both feet on top of one another, pushing those hips up, up, up. Lovely, windmill the arm down, back into your Palakasana. And we're going to shift onto the other side and come straight into our side plank on the opposite side. Lovely. And bring hands back to Palakasana. Lower the knees. Push those hips up into your Adho Mukha Savasana. Pedaling the legs out here. Making sure you've got a nice long spine. And just start to work into those hamstrings a little bit. Lovely. We're going to kick up the left leg. And look under your armpit and allow the knee to bend as you might find your little scorpion tail in your three-legged dog. And step one foot, followed by the other to the top of the mat, halfway lift. You can have your blocks here to make the ground, reaching the ground a little bit more accessible if that's required. Otherwise, we're going to fold into your deep forward fold from here. You can remain on those blocks if need be. And with the left leg, just step back into a pyramid pose. So front leg is nice and straight. Back foot is slightly rotated out to 10 to 10 on the clock. And just breathe into that stretch here. You can again be on your blocks here. You also might want to move your blocks from the foot in your pyramid pose to the front of your mat as you step forward, and see if you can just lift the foot, that back foot, the left foot, off the mat. Then pushing either your hands or your fingertips into the mat, reach back with your hands, same foot, same hand to same foot, and see if you can kick that foot up into the hand. Can just have the intention of reaching here, or keep the legs straight and trying to balance here. Otherwise, lovely stretch through the opposite leg in your sugar cane pose. Lower that foot down. I'm going to take another deep forward fold. Beautiful. We're going to step back with our right foot and find that pyramid pose on the opposite side, remembering any props you might need. Lovely. And shift forward and lift the leg up off the mat. Bend the knee. Reach back with that hand. See if you can grab hold of the foot. Kick the foot up into the hand in your sugar cane pose. Lovely. Now lower the foot down, but as you start to lower it, walk the hands to the long edge of the mat and land both feet with toes facing the long edge of the mat. Legs about leg and a half distance apart, finding your wide leg forward fold. Well, at this point a halfway lift, remembering if you need your blocks here. Otherwise, you're going to fold forward And allow the head to hang. Lovely. And then plant one hand directly into the midway point between the legs in front of you and twist and open the arm up to the sky. And switch those planted hands and twist to the other side. Like big opening wings. Inviting all that air into our heart space. Lovely. Now see if you can reach your hands back behind you and make a fist with the hands. And just feel that nice juicy shoulder stretch here in your forward fold. Lovely. And power all the way up to standing. And just shuffle. I'm just going to put these blocks behind me here. Shuffle the feet slightly more together. Then we're going to step both of them towards the short edge of the mat. There we go. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Make your little love gun. And point it up there. I'm going to come through some Chandra Namaskar, some Moon Salutations. So I'm just going to breathe to the side and make a lovely crescent shape through the body. And the other side. Lovely. Our Moon Salutations. Bring the hands to heart center, then step the feet out wide. Turn both sets of toes out. Cactus out the arms. Bringing the elbows to shoulder height, arms, fingers open. Tuck in that tailbone, engage that core, and start to lower the hips down into your goddess pose. Gorgeous. Turn the right set of toes to face the long edge of the mat, keeping the others where they are. Reach behind, reach to the side, and start to tilt. Those of you that need blocks elsewhere may want to put one in the inner step of the foot as you come down into your triangle pose. Maybe you can reach the floor here, just making sure that chest is nicely peeled open. Lovely, windmill the arm down, finding that pyramid again. We've been here before, so you might want to breathe and see if you can go deeper, or point the toes to the sky here to increase that hamstring stretch. You only go as far as you're comfortable. Drop the knee down and sweep the arms up to the sky in your Anjanasana, that low lunge. Now walk the hands round, keeping that back foot extended out. You can either plant the foot on the ground, leave this stacked knee in front, and see if you can bring hands to heart center in your Skandasana. You can also be on your blocks in a higher Skandasana here. Immediately shift the weight over to the other side of the mat, finding your Skandasana on the other side. Maybe you're balancing here. Maybe on your blocks, you do you. Rotate the hip round, leaving that knee stacked over the ankle. I'm going to inhale the arms up into your Anjanasana and lower them down. Push into the ground, finding your pyramid on the other side. Exhale over that extended leg. Maybe you're going deeper here. Find either your block or hand to that instep and raise the arm to the sky in your triangle on the other side. Maybe look up at the fingertips. Invite in that new moon light. And power up. Coming into your star shape and step to the other end of your mat, finding that little standing crescent. On the other side, bending either side again. Gorgeous. Pull the hands down to the heart. I'm going to step out wide again and flow through all that at a little bit of a faster pace for our second round. And we're going to turn those toes out, cactus the arms, sink into your goddess. Gorgeous. Rotate those toes back. Find your triangle going the opposite way. Rotate the arm down, pyramid pose. Lower the knee, swoosh up the arms, Anjanasana. Lower the hands, rotate the pelvis, find your Skandasana. Shift the weight over, lunging into that Skandasana on the other side. Rotate the pelvis round, dropping that knee. And inhale the arms up, Anjanasana. Find that pyramid pose again. On the other side. Into your triangle, your Trikonasana. Windmill that arm round to sweep yourself back up. Step it to the short edge of the mat. Crescent. And crescent. Gorgeous. Now we're going to step back into our goddess. With those cactus arms. Sink, sink, sink in the hips. Now turn the palms up to the sky and imagine you are a pair of scales. Inviting in that Libra sun that's coming on the 22nd. Now take the palms to the knees, the inner knees, and push those knees right apart as you lower the chest down a little. And see if you can twist and push into one knee and look up at the sky in your twisted goddess. Now rotate the other way, push into the opposite knee and look up the other side in your twisted goddess. Gorgeous, and power all the way up. Turn one set of toes to the long edge and in the same sort of pose as coming into a triangle, but this time we're going to lunge that knee and find a lunge shaped knee, finding your warrior 2. Look down the fingertips, standing strong in your strong warrior. Now rotate the back foot so that you're fully facing the short edge of the mat. Plant that foot at about 10 to 10. Lift the arms up in your warrior and lower them down. Step back into your Ardha Mukha Shavasana. We've been here before. We're going to kick up the left leg, toes to the sky, and shift forward, coming up onto the toes at the back, and see if you can tap the knee as you crunch in on the elbow. Kick the leg back up in your 3-leg dog. Crunch and bring the knee to the nose. Kick it back up. Crunch, tap opposite elbow. Kick it back up. Once more, same elbow, kick up. Forehead or nose, kick up. Opposite elbow, kick up. This time, bend the knee, twist to the side, and see if you can plant that foot through, twisting to the opposite side. Rotate a little on the back foot, open the arm up to the sky in your fallen triangle. Windmill that arm back down. Lovely. Kick the leg up to the sky. This time step it all the way forward. Plant that back foot, that right foot out at 2:10 and come all the way up into your warrior. Lovely. Now see if you can push really firmly push your weight into that front knee and foot. Lift the opposite leg up off of the mat. Bring the hands to heart center and see if you can just balance here. You might want to have a few goes at just pushing up and seeing if you can balance. You can also have blocks here waiting for you if the balance is tricky. And we are going to come into our warrior three by lifting that leg up off the ground, making one long line through the body. If you're on your blocks here, see if you can play with taking the hands away. If they're at heart center, see if you can fly them out. Lovely, and when you're ready, bend that knee and drop the foot back down. Sweep the arms back up into your warrior. We're going to twist and open the arms out into our warrior two. We've been here before. This time, turn your palm over and allow the back hand to come down to the thigh as you lift the other up to the sky in your humble warrior, in your reverse warrior. Now windmill the arms down, bring hands to heart center and allow that pelvis to rotate back round. Come up onto the toes at the back and see if you can twist and latch that elbow onto the knee. Lovely. Bring a hand down to the ground, windmill the others, join it, and step both feet back into your Ardha Chandrasana. We're going to take that on the other side. Kick the right leg up to the sky, knee to same elbow, kick it up to the sky, knee to forehead, kick it up to the sky, knee to opposite elbow. One more, same elbow, kick to forehead, kick to opposite elbow, kick, and slot it through, push through the arm, open the arm up to the sky in your fallen triangle, windmill that arm back down, kick the leg up to the sky and step it all the way forward, back foot plants at 10 to 10, arms come up into your warrior. Now we're going to play with shifting that weight and launching. Remembering any props you might need here. Breathing, engage that core, powerfully kick that leg behind. Maybe fly the arms out if you can. Embrace any wobbles, come back into any poses if you do fall out. Plant that back foot, lift the arms back up into your warrior. Pull the energy down to the heart, rotate out into your warrior two. Just play around and realign your feet if they're a little bit messy. And lift the arm up to the sky, reversing that warrior. Rotate back round into your warrior, pull the energy down and find that prayer lunge on the opposite side. Plant the palm to the ground, windmill your opposite arm back down and round. And we're going to push back into our downward facing dog. Push into the palms and start to shift the weight forward, shoulders forward, just over the fingertips in your Palakasana. Lower the knees down to the ground. Lower the chin and the chest down. Finding your Chandra Namaskar. Pull through and up. Open those knees and pull back into your child's pose. Lift the head, planting the forearms, and scooch the chest up into your cobra. Really engage those glutes and pull back to your child's pose. A few little body waves here. Pull the chest along the ground. Look up in your cobra and lower the hips. And then push back up into your Ardha Chandrasana. And kick that right leg up and just rotate it round. As it lands at the top of the mat, twist yourself into a wide-legged, deep forward fold, facing the long edge of the mat. Find that fist clasp again, stretching out those shoulders and power all the way up. Lovely. So turn your left toes to the long edge of the mat, take the arms out, and as if you're going to lunge, you might want to block either end of your mat actually if you're using blocks. So I'm just going to pop those there and come into this warrior 2 stance. But as we did when we were coming into a warrior 3, where we were lifting the left foot up and using our momentum to push up and try and catch the balance, we're going to do that here. And you can have your block waiting at the short edge of the mat for you to try and rotate into your Ardha Chandrasana, which is your half moon. So you will try to bring the hand to either the block or the ground, with the other one peeling up to the sky, leg kicking back powerfully. So when you're ready, inhale, focus that drishti, focus that gaze on one unmoving point. Find your balance, maybe you are on your block here, and kick that leg out. When you're ready, lower that palm down. Find both sort of revolving through your warrior 3. Then either pushing into your fingertips or your block. Rotate to look in the opposite direction and take the other arm up to the sky here. Lovely. Now, see if you can kick the foot up towards the glute, as we did in our sugarcane pose. And see if you can wrap the fingers around the blade edge of the foot. Start to walk the hand round, the free hand out, back round to the long edge of the mat, and kick the foot, crossing the legs, and see if you can come in to your baby grasshopper, keeping that foot, that hip elevated up off the ground. And when you're ready, lower it down. And find your legs magically in a half lord of the fish pose. If the baby grasshopper is not working for you, I'm just going to demonstrate for those that may need a different transition. Revolved, half moon, then just lower that foot back down, bend that back knee, and straighten the opposite leg out in front of you. Then take the leg and cross it over, and you'll also find yourself with the legs in half lord of the fish. Lift your arm up to the sky, hook it on to the outer edge of the knee, and look behind you in your half lord of the fish. Lovely. Now uncross your legs. Start to roll over, push through the palms and push back up into your down dog. Lovely. Now kick up with the left leg, step it forward and windmill the arms, finding that warrior 2 on the opposite side. And when you're ready, we're going to elevate ourselves into that Ardha Chandrasana. So ready? Using your momentum, lift the leg up and start to reach for the floor, balancing, focus on one unmoving point, embrace any wobbles. You can, if you fall out, just come back into it. Lower the palm down to the ground, remembering any props if you need them. And rotate, kicking that foot powerfully behind in your revolved half moon. Reach for that foot, see if you can wrap those fingers round and start to straighten the leg out behind As you walk the other hand round, kicking into that hand in your baby grasshopper. Lower that hip down. Remembering you can just lower the leg, bend the knee, straighten the leg, coming into your half-lord fish on the opposite side. Inhale your arm up to the sky, twist and hook that elbow onto the knee. Other hand is behind the sit bones in your half-lord of the fish. Again, gorgeous. Now straighten both legs out in front of you. Sitting nice and tall in your staff pose. When you're ready, see if you can lift your feet up into your boat pose again, as we were at the beginning of the class. See if you can float your boat. Then see if you can challenge yourself this time and kick the feet up to the sky, straightening the legs. Maybe you have the feet flexed, maybe you have them pointed. Maybe play with it. Lower the feet down and roll onto your back with the knees pointing up to the sky. Take a few breaths. I'm going to reach for your ankles, or you can push into the ground here, or you can make a fist behind the back, just behind the sit bones, and push up off the ground. We're going to come into our bridge pose. So when you're ready, either grabbing ankles, pushing into the ground, we're going to do a deep inhale and push those hips up off the ground in your bridge pose. Hold it, making sure those knees are parallel, and lower. Straighten the arms and legs out. Take the arms up overhead. I'm just going to walk the feet to the edge of the mat and grab your wrist onto your arm, making a bit of a crescent shape on the mat here. So both your hands and your feet are walked over to one edge of the mat. You can also cross the legs here and cross the feet over the leg to intensify in this little banana shape. And walk it over in the opposite direction. Hands and feet to the corners of the mat. Maybe you're grabbing onto that opposite wrist. Maybe you're crossing the legs over. Wherever you are, trying to push the shoulders down towards the mat and feel that little stretch up the side body. Lovely. And walk the feet back round. I'm just going to log roll all the way over and find a crocodile pose. So bring yourself onto your belly and place one palm on the ground with the other stacked on top. Then bring the head to the hands. We're going to come into our locust pose, so you might want to just double fold the mat here to support the pelvis, or if you have some sort of blanket, you might want to put that underneath those hips just to protect those hip bones. Reach behind and see if you can hold hands with yourself behind your back. You can also just peel the arms up into this W shape if this clasp is not available to you. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale the chest, the head and the feet all up off of the mat. Really point those toes back powerfully behind you. When you're ready, inhale and really point those toes to the back of the room. Up on those hips, fist pulls towards the back of the room, and exhale, lower it all down. Have a little break again in your crocodile. Now we're going to kick the feet towards the glutes And see if you can reach behind and grab the ankles. When you're ready, we're going to lever our ankles into our hands and peel the chest up, coming into our bow pose. When you're ready, deep inhalation, lever that chest up. Keep breathing, engage those glutes. And lower. Beautiful. Straighten the arms out ahead of you. And I'm going to log roll over again onto your back. Whew, so much hair in the way. Bend your knees. And then come into our plough pose by pushing into the ground, seeing if you can rock the tailbone up off of the mat. Then catch the hips and send the feet over behind your head. Supporting that lower spine, or you can find that fist clasp again and pull the arms out straight. Walk those toes back. Keep breathing in your plough pose. Bring the hands back to the lower spine. Bend the knees, cross the ankles. Roll all the way down. Outstretch those legs. Palms up to the sky. And find your Shavasana. Your final resting pose. Well done for harmonizing and balancing through all those twists and turns. Life through as many twists and turns it is off the mat. Often we can tackle things on our mat, and when we find we can achieve them on our mat and navigate them there, we find we can also reflect that into our life off of the mat. Where do we need to harmonise and balance in our lives? With the people around us, the situations. What do we need to invite more of? What do we need to release so that we can come back into an equilibrium with ourselves? You can stay here for as long as you would like. I'm going to roll onto my side and come up to seat. I'd like to thank you for joining me in this balance and harmony class to bring in the new moon in Virgo and the sun tipping into Libra as the autumnal equinox is upon us. The equinox is all about finding our equilibrium and balancing the energies of our light and dark. Thank you for watching Flow with Chloe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I wish you a wonderful new moon in Virgo. Wonderful, peaceful, as peaceful as it can be, solar eclipse with that. And hope that you find some harmony and balance this equinox. And we will end with a final